Asia correspondent, John Bailey, standing by to give us the latest on this story. John, very good morning to you. The search seems to be continuing, and I'm sure the divers there are battling those cold and dark waters as more crew members are being arrested.
Yeah, good morning, Dan. I think we can expect more actions being taken against that crew, because they've come in for a lot of criticism, not only from the government, but also from the public, and especially the families of the deceased and the victims, because it's clear from the transcripts that were released that they did not act according to the rules and regulations. In fact, they were the captain and his crew were some of the first who were rescued off the ship, and they did not start an evacuation procedure, because especially the first 45 minutes were quite crucial. And in fact, by the time that they wanted to release lifeboats, it was too late. The ship was already too tilted, and most of those on board were in fact trapped inside the ferry.
It looks like there was a lot of indecision by the crew. They didn't issue an evacuation order on time, and as you said, they couldn't deploy the lifeboats on time. Meanwhile, we understand a boy phoned the emergency number, and there were 20 other calls to that emergency number from people on board that vessel before it kilted over.
That's right, Dan. The boy was one of the 339 kids on board that ferry who called the emergency services, and also what authorities are saying is that they are looking through the communication from one of the a very popular social media site in South Korea as well, where they contacted their friends and family members to tell them what was going on, and as I said, the crew on that ferry didn't do much in that first 45 minutes. What the captain said, the reason why he didn't issue any evacuation order, he was waiting for conditions to improve before starting any evacuation. But maritime authorities are saying that he should have at least ordered those the passengers to the deck of the ship, and that would have improved their chances of survival. Of course, now we know that we still have close to 200 people missing.
Well, let's move to another disaster which shocked the world a few weeks ago, and that's the disappearance of the Malaysian airliner MH370. That search is still continuing. What's the latest there, particularly for the families, Shem, who just still don't know what went wrong?
Yeah, the search is still continuing for the missing plane, Dan. The concern really is that we have this underwater drone from the American Navy that's been searching this particular area where they heard those pings that was supposed to be emanated from the black boxes, but it has gone through two-thirds of its search already, and it's supposed to end by somewhere this week, and they still haven't located anything. So that is really of concern to the families, and that's what the families have been saying as well. They don't want to talk about any financial compensation unless they have some proof that this plane actually crashed into the ocean. But what we do know, though, is that that the insurance companies have started paying out money to Malaysian Airlines, and they in return have given $5,000 to family members of those missing passengers.
Finally, John, we understand President Barack Obama is on his way to South Korea for a visit, as we've seen some raised tensions with North Korea. I mean, yesterday there were reports that North Korea might be preparing for a fourth nuclear test.
Yeah, the tension is certainly building up, especially ahead of the visit by President Barack Obama to South Korea, because he's on a week-long visit to Asia. And what the North Koreans have said in a statement, and typical North Korean style, is that they said this is a very dangerous move by Obama to come to South Korea at this stage, because there is increased tension between North and South Korea. And what they said is that he brings with him the cloud of a possible nuclear race on the peninsula, on the Korean peninsula. So we're not quite sure whether or not North Korea will will in fact test the nuclear device, or whether they are just acting at the moment.
Okay, thank you very much. That's eNCA Asia correspondent live to us from Beijing, and that's John Bailey.
Know more about your world.
eNCA.com.